everybody, welcome to G4G Games for Gamers. Today's background music is brought to you by Psychedelic Trance 2014 Mix. And today we're taking a look at the newest Spec Ops, which is for Jessica Jones. Now this is something that we were expecting, but we were not quite expecting the fact that we were going to get a new lockbox character. And that is Boomerang. That kind of, that came out of nowhere. I haven't been able to work on the Spec Ops yet. Schedule is really off today, so we'll take a look at the characters and then we'll go and look at the gear, everything like that. So here is Jessica Jones, the most un-superhero looking superhero I think we've got in the game at the moment. She is a bruiser. I kind of feel like, I don't know what I feel like we need lately. I mean, we had a run of bruisers for a while. Now we've had a run of blasters. We've had a run of scrappers. We have Boomerang as a tactician. I think it's relatively balanced, honestly. Because, I mean, if we go over here and we look at what's come out recently, we have Bruiser, Bruiser Generalist, Bruiser Scrapper, Blaster, Generalist, Infiltrator, Blaster, Scrapper, Blaster, Bruiser, Tactician. Maybe we could have used another Infiltrator, but, you know, it's not particularly too bad the way we've got it right now. So here is modern Jessica Jones. She is Private Eye, chance to apply target focus on enemies when they perform an action. Chance to gain fatal intel when enemies perform an action, short fuse. Chance to gain combat awareness after being attacked. So that's kind of interesting. She has a kind of infiltrator level counter there. And let's take a look at her moves. Bar Room Brawl. One enemy, 4 hits, combo setup, wide open, targeted, and she gains grit. So grit, of course, we know from the chapter gun. We also know that from Sandman. So she is going to be probably very durable. And in taking a look at her stats, her health is average, her stamina is terrible, but her attack and defense are very good. Her accuracy is average and her evasion is shit. Accuracy being that level for a bruiser is not particularly unusual. The health being a 4 is probably something that I would expect, but they're probably relying on grit to beef her up. It is very nice to see her attack so heavy. Leap of Faith. It is stealthy. That's interesting for a bruiser. One enemy is flanked and one enemy is off balance. That's kind of like the Chitter Chatter box. All in one. Flanked is glorious. I always love flanked. And the fact that it's stealthy and flanked is phenomenal. I'm resourceful. Oh wow. Big multifunction here. Bust Stop Battle Axe. One enemy gets open wound, tenderized, and impaired. So that's really nice for bleeding, because open wound is ravaged and up to 3 stacks of bleeding. Tenderized is always good with that because most slashing attacks do cause bleeding. Fire Hydrant Hangover. One enemy is winded, one enemy is neutralized, and wow, one enemy is waterlogged. That works well with Nurcod. Parking Meter Madness. One enemy is exhausted, one enemy is cornered. So she certainly has a lot of opportunistic debuffs going on over here. And Swatted. All enemies. Catastrophic. Cannot be protected against. Ignores avoidance effects. Guaranteed to hit. True Grit. So this is where her grit stacks go. And all enemies have a 60% chance at stun. So this is somewhat similar to the Tantrum from Sabretooth. The Ares Crush Your Enemies, which we know is one of Ares' big openers all the time, is to hit you with a gun and then to do Crush Your Enemies. So it'll be interesting to see if that's what the AI does with Swatted, but honestly, Swatted shouldn't be your opener. Unlike the other guys, Swatted should be later in combat because of it consuming grit. So here's her history over here. She opened up Alias Investigations, which, by the way, has no relation to the old show Alias, even though it originally had that idea. It just spun into a different way. So we have Boomerang, which is a shock, and I kind of wish they kind of uncheesed him a little bit with the boomerangs all over. I mean, if these were just parts of his suit, it'd be an interesting pattern and look, but when you realize they're boomerangs, it makes him look like a really bad Mega Man character. So he's a tactician. Bottom of the 9th, Boomerang deals increasing damage as his health lowers. Increased chance to trigger what goes around when the health is low. Circular flight. Boomerangs do not travel in a straight line and are stealthy attacks, avoiding protects and counters. That's really cool. Master Marksman attacks almost never miss. Attacks against marked targets are guaranteed to crit. Paynerang, multifunction and stealthy. Whoa, hello. Desperation attack. So these are all going to be desperation. They all have what goes around. Bleeding. Burning. ISO corruption. Static charge. Very interesting. So a lot of attrition over there. Wow, whoa. So all desperation, all what goes around. Now we get reduced potential, neutralized and exhausted, but only at a 75% chance. Gravity Rain, grounded, off balance, winded. Again, off balance and winded have a chance. And a stun, average amount of percentage there. Yay, finally not something multifunction. Guaranteed to hit, stealthy, targeted, remote tracking. Boomerangs will attempt to hit this target in addition to their primary target. Huh. That's very interesting. So I guess you can hit somebody one time with Trackarang, and then any other attacks have a chance to splash to that original target, and it does fumbling. And wind up, quick action, stealthy, subtle, self, measured throws. Boomerangs no longer have a chance to return, but he does gain a chance to preemptively interrupt attacks during the next round. Wind up. Okay, so this would be something that would be good if you expect a team to do a lot of actions or have like a Spitfire or Quicksilver. The fact that it's a quick action is good because it kind of changes Boomerang from doing all of his stuff while he's on offense to doing a little bit of a passive offense while he's on D. Clearly with all these multifunctions, this is not going to be a defensive character from PvP. It's just way too crazy with all of this. He does have long cooldowns on a lot of this stuff, so he will probably be pushed into doing things off of his 1 and 2, but he's excessively complicated, so it remains to be seen if he gets used on O, but on defense, really don't expect much. So we have the Spec Ops, we have a purple ISO, we have a purple lockbox for Boomerang, which is a little odd. Well, I guess it kind of works with his colors over here. But like this doesn't look exactly like Boomerang's color scheme to me. That just the way that they have it, it looks like something a little different. So if I was to go back and look at Boomerang, yeah, I guess it works. Yeah, it's his colors, just the way you see it. I think the purple is... There's just too much purple there. If it had a little bit more blue, I'd recognize it. So let's take a look at the gear. We have a balanced PvP armory item. So my prediction that the next one would be offensive based is out the window. However, I don't think they would do an offensive based one, as I just think that may be too deadly to put that in the hands of just everybody. Balanced, I certainly see. Defensive, I was a little surprised that they did it, but it kind of makes sense. An offensive item, though, I think might be a little scary. Fortified Mind, immune to mind control, that's pretty cool. the Magia Tommy Gun. This is the item that I believe is available on the spinner. It has a 2-round cooldown, hits people 4 times, all enemies bleeding, burning, and iso corruption at a 30% chance. So this is a pretty good attrition weapon. We have these brass knuckles over here, high crits combo setup, so fairly standard for a melee item, nothing to write home about there. The Magia targeting device, it's a quick action, it's subtle. When other pieces of the Magia set are equipped, this applies flank to the enemy and epiphany to your agent. That's really nice, I kind of like that. One enemy gets pinpoint, one enemy gets distraction. And then of course, Jessica Jones at the end. Here in Mission 1, you have a chance to gain the Boomerang launcher. So it's Boomerang on a stick, basically. Over here in the Shocker mission, we have the chance to gain the Mailbox, Stunned, Internal Bleeding, and Dazed. So this is a pretty nice weapon over here. Internal Bleeding is not that common for the agent. You could occasionally get it off of the GG prototype, but for the most part, Internal Bleeding has never been that strong. With the agent, really only Elektra and Daredevil have ever had this. But this is really nice because it can't be removed. But Styptic does reduce it. And then we have the Pheromone Injector. You would think that it does something to you, but it's for the enemies. It's a quick action disorient. So if you don't have a Blackest Void or something, you can go ahead and grab something like this, but it has a very, very long cooldown. And of course, the satellite support would absolutely ruin that. So if we go back and we take a look at the news, the Hammer Pistol is the gold item. Deadly crits, high crits, strength of the Magia. When another piece of the Magia set is equipped, it gains Combo Breaker. So there is a Raft Shank level item, but it takes 2 pieces to get it. 2-round cooldown, Rattle, and Cognitive Strain. So Cognitive Strain is similar to the Psychic Lock. Basically, when you execute an action, it becomes locked out for an additional round. So, if you were to use, say, Psylocke's level 1, and you got hit with a Hammer Pistol, Psylocke's level 1 would not be available the next round. Of course, we still have the Coulson's Revenge. And the Spinner is that item that we saw there. The main man, which is kind of like the toolbox. So there is a look at the Spec Ops. Always remember, dump into your first mission and accept it and actually go through all of the dialogue before getting ISOs from people or farming it from your allies. Once your counter does not say 0, that is when you will be able to go ahead and start earning your ISOs. So, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I will definitely be out of town for a few days, so my plan to potentially stream some of the covert ops missions when I do them throughout the day to replace the PvP streams is going to go out the window until I return, which will be Saturday. So I probably will not have any new Marvel content on the channel until at the very least Saturday. So if you are in the United States, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. To all those other countries, have a good week, and I will catch you guys on the weekend. See ya, everybody.